So it's not the constitution that is a problem per se, but those that are supposed to interpret it and then administer it.
See, what we're saying is that people should be passionate about their job. We should have people that love this country. People say, you know what, we don't want the regulation of petroleum products. We want the subsidy to continue. We want our refineries to be prepared. But you go talk to somebody who runs or works in one of these refineries, they will tell you why those refineries can never work.
There is a present and real danger for the corporate existence of Nigeria. Generally, this government is considered as weak.
It should not be so. If we remain like that, then we will remain in socio-economic and political thraldom.
So when you talk about passion, the people ruling us, they are not passionate.
Well, let's take
the House of Rep is not passionate. The senators are not passionate. That's why they are discussing without doing anything. Which sacrifice are they going to offer?
In Nigeria, governance is not about servanthood. Governance in Nigeria is about what can I get.
All right, you're welcome to another beautiful edition of The Agenda. This week on Loveworld Plus on this station. Well, it's going to be a great time with us because we'll be having a very interesting topic. My name is Philip Haza. Thanks once again for joining us on The Agenda. Now, this week we're going to be looking at a very interesting topic. As long as an issue is on red alert on the minds of Nigerians, majority of Nigerians, you're sure to have it on this platform, The Agenda, right here in the studio. First of all, the topic for today is revamping the Nigerian sports sector. All right. Of course, you know why we should be looking at this topic. Several issues, several barrage of criticisms has come on the fore from a dismal performance in the just concluded London 2012 Olympics, and that's why we need to look into this topic this week. I'm actually joined in the studio with distinguished guests right by my side. I have Mr. Ifeanyi Eduzo. You're welcome, sir.
You're welcome.
Thanks for joining us. Yes, he's a sports journalist with National Mirror newspapers. Okay, so you're sure to have very, very vital information coming from Mr. Ifeanyi. I also have Mr. Humphrey, I beg your pardon, Njoku. He's working with supersports.com. Right? Am I right?
Yeah.
You're welcome, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry, my hands can't get there.
Don't worry.
You're welcome to join us on the show. But very importantly, you're also part of this show. How? All you need to do is send your comments, your contributions, because I feel like this is a national conference that we're calling together to revamp the sports sector. And we cannot do that except you're part and parcel of this program. All you need to do is send your comments and contributions. The address is on your screen right now. It's The Agenda at loverplusnews.net. We can get it right now on the show and read it out live to you. So that's how you can participate. All right. Once again, thanks for joining us. We'll go straight to the matter of the day, the agenda. Like I said, it's revamping the Nigerian sports sector. We just concluded the London 2012 Olympics. It was a beautiful exercise. And Nigeria fielded about over 57 athletes or 55 athletes in the London 2012 Olympics and came back home with no medal. Not just the fact that they didn't come with any medal, but so many people say it's a narcissistic performance that they displayed in the London 2012 Olympics. But the first question now, looking at our almost forgotten hero, Chioma Ajunwa, who is a gold medalist in the 1996 Olympics. She has actually expressed her displeasure in the performance and directed her blame actually to the Nigerian National Sports Commission, the NSC. Okay, and now she says it's because they've relegated the grassroots sports, the old norms of sports in the secondary schools and primary school level to the back door. What do you have to say, Mr. Humphrey, about that from Chioma Ajunwa?
Well, with due respect to Chioma Ajunwa, our gold medalist. In fact, the first individual gold medalist, as far as Nigeria is concerned, that was in long jump in Atlanta in 1996. So the person of her pedigree, any word from her, she speaks from experience.
Sure.
She was there, she saw it all. And now she is using her wealth of experience to analyze. So I think that with due respect, she is an authority. And over a period of time, you ask yourself, it's becoming a cliche. What she said is not a new something. We have had it severally. Each time we went to an event, when we felt people talk about the drawing board, I think we are careful now to avoid that cliche drawing board, because obviously there is no more board to draw. So you can't run away from that, because when you look at how other countries over a period of time have come from nowhere to somewhere, you see that those achievements were not from the blues. It was rooted through the grassroots. And who are these grassroots? Because when you look at the quality of athletes that competed at the just London Olympics, you look at their age brackets. These are people who are below 20 years.
Yes.
You talk about the Chinese, even the Britain, I follow, most of them are 16, 17, 18. And obviously these people, you don't need any prophecy to tell you, look, these are products of the school sports, primary, secondary school, and probably with few exceptions, the tertiary institution. But over here, that has not been the case. And it's not surprising that we have not got it right. It's not surprising that we are where we are, because it's on record at the Olympics that Nigeria paraded one of the oldest athletes, Nigeria. And when you look at the statistics of our athletes, they are around 30. And you ask yourself, are we accommodating or rehabilitating people, or are we? So there's no two way about it. The grassroots, the secondary school, the primary school remains the bedrock of any country who are interested in making it in sports.
And getting laurels.
Yeah.
Mr. Ifeanyi, do you agree with Mr.
Yeah, I quite agree with what my colleague, Mr. Humphreys, said. Because when you look at our sports, people like us, we've been shouting, we've been talking, we need to get back to the grassroots.
Even before now.
Even before now. But nobody seems to listen. There is no way you can expect to get a good result when you don't plan. And how do you plan? You have to go back to the basics. And how do you go back to the basics? You have to catch them young. When you say you catch them, look at, like he rightly said, look at the Chinese. All the athletes, 16, 17, 18. Look at the guy that won silver for Botswana in 800 meters, just 18. Then look at the athletes that represented us in table tennis. Most of them were even close to 40. And you are going to compete with athletes whose reflexes are still very high, who can take on you at any time. Before you even turn back, the deal is done.
I remember we even had a 13-year-old from Togo, the youngest swimmer.
So what are we saying?
Olympics.
We've been saying it, we have to go back to the drawing board. Catch them young. Where are our school sports? But my fear is that going back to the drawing board, you have to look at the private schools.
Mr. Humphrey says there's no drawing board.
There's no drawing board, of course. Look at the private schools. Hardly will you get any of these private schools that have anywhere where children can train. And you want to go to the Olympics, you want to go to the Commonwealth and perform wonders. It's not possible. So the best thing, like Chioma Ajunwa has said, let us go back to the grassroots. Let us reintroduce school sports. Let us go back. We have a bundle of talents in this country. The problem is, how do we not get them? And the only way to get them is getting back to the grassroots, catch them young, nurture them, and in the next 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, we produce champions.
So how long do you think this can occur, this can happen? Do you think in the next Olympics, which is happening in Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, 2016, do you think in the next 4 years we can actually do something to get at least a medal?
No.
Save us from
you see,
this
our problem has been, this idea of winning.
Miracles.
Winning. Not even miracle. We compete to win, not to develop.
Not to develop.
That has been our problem.
Okay.
When you look at the underage categories of all the competitions we have been doing, this recurring syndrome, age cheat and all, it's all targeted about winning. If we de-emphasize winning, we can get it right. The core motto of Olympics, although with due respect, I do not seem to agree that with the present trend, it should be mere participation, because over a period of time, some people have come up with a lot of analysis. Look, sports is a war without a tank, so that when you and another country is facing each other, you are carrying the banner of your country. If you win, you have defeated me in a warfare without a tank. So give and take. we shouldn't be in a hurry if we want to get it. If you ask me, we should forget about 2016 winning anything. We should start preparing because, like I said, the average age of the crop of athletes that represented us in London is around 30. So in 2016, it's +4. We are talking about 34. So it's not going to be easy. I've just mentioned about those who won medals. These are below 20. So in terms of preparation for Rio de Janeiro, they have already an athlete, so they can build. So we should be able to face a little reality that 2016 is not for medal because it's obvious. I want to be a bit specific. Last in Beijing, that is 2008, we have Chika Chukwumerije, who won bronze.
Specialist.
Are you following? Ordinarily, if things had been equal, we should have expected a graduation to silver, and probably subsequently we get a gold medal. But we retrogress. He didn't even, just one event. Wow. And his own case is even pathetic because the Gabonese, no, the Cuban who defeated him was subsequently defeated by a Gabonese. And so,
fellow African.
So what is there is, let us swallow our pride. We have got it wrong over a period of time, and there will not be any hurry. The school sports of 18, let it not be a catchword, because people say, go back to school sport, go to... The policy has always been there. There's a policy on sports in Nigeria, but the only thing is the political will to follow it up. In America, where we borrow, if you didn't pass through the school sports, you can't represent America.
Exactly.
It's a state policy. But here you see somebody who never see the four walls of any school becoming, and that has been the problem. So if we want to talk about this, going back to the grassroots, which is almost like a truism, let us de-emphasize winning and use between now and Rio de Janeiro
to build our structures,
to even see these athletes, get them and start grooming them and put the facilities in place. You see, most of you, of us who have the privilege of being within the sports sector, you get amused. Inside the National Sports Hall, the knockout hall, where the supposedly gold medalists we are expecting in table tennis trains, if you go there, it will take you 45 minutes for you to know that there's another human being within you. It's completely dark. And go to the indoor hall. I mean, of late, let us not mention a private organization that gave them a floor. It was nothing to write home about. The edifice called the Membo has been abandoned. The swimming pool, in fact, if the water in the swimming pool in the National Stadium should touch you, then you will be going to them. So what we are saying in effect, let us de-emphasize medal. As far as Rio de Janeiro is concerned, let us start identifying first. We have to identify this talent, groom them, and probably invest. Because if you didn't invest, most of the countries that made impact in all these things, they invested heavily.
We'll get to that. We'll get to those countries.
Because
it's really amazing.
We are talking about 2.2 million we squandered at Olympics.
2 billion.
2.2 billion. Somebody is asking, is it for participation or to prepare the athletes? We didn't prepare the athletes. And the reason is what we are seeing. So let us get back to the grassroots, identify these athletes, groom them, and prepare for not 2016, not even 2020, probably the other one.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Humphrey. That was a long one. The fact is we need to analyze before we find a way forward, and that's why we need to relay all our displeasure in the just concluded London 2012 Olympics. We're looking at revamping the Nigerian sports sector, in case you're just joining us, and this is the agenda. Well, we left off analyzing our last performance in regards preparation, putting up structures that would last. All right. In 2011, a year before the Olympics, President Goodluck Jonathan was made the chairman of the NOC, the National Olympic Committee in Nigeria, and
a grand patron,
or rather a grand patron, and he immediately disbursed 2.2 billion naira.
Not disbursed.
Well,
It
okay,
was
he
a
approved.
budgeted-
He approved.
it was budgeted.
Exactly, for it. We don't know when the monies came out and all
The
of that.
money came
but the fact
just 3 months,
3 months
to
to
the
the
game.
Olympics.
that's what officials say. But you know, they can hold their ground that they approved it and it got to them. Okay, but the fact is, you know, plans were made. And they were actually supposed to go to the UK to train, to use better facilities, because you talked about the poor state of our facilities. Okay, so would you blame, which side of the government would you blame? Because the government comprises of a whole lot of people. Which side of the government? Is it the National Sports Commission in implementing that those facilities were used by the athletes, or the federal government that did not disburse the money on time? 2011 is a year before the Olympics. Okay, so I believe it was a little, even if late, yes, but
Okay.
it was quite late. Let's allow Mr. Ifeanyi land a little. Yes.
Well, thank you very much. You have to blame both the National Sports Commission and the government, because I'm aware that in other countries, a country like Jamaica, or let's say US, they don't just start preparation 3, 4, 5, 6 months to a major games. Like as the Olympics is ending now, they've started preparation for Rio de Janeiro in 2016. So we have to start early preparation. When you talk of releasing money, this money, according to NSC, I don't know, they said that the money was released just 3 months to the games. Why must this money be released 3 months to the games? When other countries have started their preparation some 2, 3 years ago. And when these monies are released, were they actually used for what they were released for? Because I'm aware that even when the money was released, some of the athletes, they would tell them they are going on training tours. At the end of the day, they keep on changing the dates.
And we had the highest number of delegates.
We have the number
in
of delegates. We have 53 athletes.
Over 700
officials. So what are we talking? So that's why I say you have to blame both the government and the NSC. Because if this money was released on time, maybe let's say just last 2 years or 3 years, it will now enable the NSC to plan. In planning these athletes, as we are investing on them, you have to monitor them. Because it's not only one is to invest, another thing is to monitor, to ensure that these people, they are really, you have to give them grants. If possible, give them scholarship, give them training grants. Like in Jamaica, each athlete collects not less than $10,000 as a training grant. Why wouldn't they now win medals for their country?
Out.
So that's the thing. So what I'm trying to explain is that both the government and the NSC should be blamed. We have to stop this fire brigade approach. Anytime we are preparing for competition, we have to wait. We believe that we can always get there. Some will tell you that the most important thing is to go and participate. That's nonsense. What do you mean by going to participate when small countries like Gabon that are not up to 3 million, they register their names on the medals table? Belarus, that is about 1 something million, they won medal.
That's even much. Grenada,
that is about 130,000 people.
They are 90,000.
They are 90,000. They won medal. So what are we saying?
Okay.
So what we have to start early preparation. One thing is to release this money, and another thing is for the sports administrators to use this money judiciously. Release this money on time. Let the training start on time. Start monitoring these athletes. Give them training grants. Sponsor them to major competitions where they will go and get the required exposure, so that when they are now competing in games like Commonwealth and Olympics, they know that these athletes have competed within once or twice. I beat this athlete. Why won't I do it now?
Yes. That's talking about self-esteem. Thank you so much, Mr. Ifeanyi. Well, we need to take a break now, but in case you're joining us, we're still talking about revamping the Nigerian sports sector. It's been a very heated up studio, and we're waiting for your comments. Actually, you can send your comments from wherever you are to the agenda at loveworldplusnews.net, and then we can take it right in the studio right now on the show. But before we move further, we need to take a break, and when we come back, there's more on the agenda, revamping the Nigerian sports sector. Stay tuned.
So it's not the constitution that is a problem per se, but those that are supposed to interpret it and then administer it.
See, what we're saying is that people should be passionate about their job. We should have people that love this country. People say, you know what, we don't want deregulation of petroleum products. We want the subsidy to continue. We want our refineries to be prepared. But you go talk to somebody who runs or works in one of...
In Nigeria, governance is not about servanthood. Governance in Nigeria is about what can I get.